I know I should have to turn them away. Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. As we fade in across the bottom there, that was pretty neat, I saw that. Tonight is another night where I am on my own, and that's almost by choice. I didn't work too hard to get a guest this week, and that's in part because I have a lot of things to say, and I invite you to call in and say what you want to say. 203-753-7593. It's right there on your screen. Give me a call if you've got something to add to any of the topics that I bring up, or you just want to talk about anything, say hi, whatever. I'm here. We like to see who's paying attention. The first thing you might notice is there's no little dog on my lap tonight. That's a good thing. Odie was adopted this week, and I think he struck gold, which is a beautiful thing, and it's what you can only hope for when you foster and are searching for a home for an animal. Once again, the power of Facebook with a little kick from the article that I write. I put a little piece together about Odie, and I shared it around Facebook, and I posted it on a friend's wall. And a dear friend of her family happened to see the article, read up on him, and gave me a call, emailed me, whatever, and we had a lovely conversation, and my friend contacted me and had told me that, you know, this person was interested, so it was good. I didn't have to give the 5th degree like I would have ordinarily. And Odie has been a wonderful little addition to her house, and hopefully that will be a lifetime situation of love and happiness. So yay for Odie, boo for me, because I'm sad. I was attached to him, even though he was a little terrorist. He displayed some behaviors at the studio last week that were less than friendly, but you know, it's that Chihuahua-tude thing, and that's all good. But yes, Odie has been adopted, so thank you to Sandy for adopting him. Thank you for Allison for making the connection for us. Thank you to Jessica for getting him out of the pound. Thank you to Amanda for making it possible. To Hope Clinic for getting him in on a moment's notice to get neutered. And like I always say, it takes a village, and don't we love a happy ending? Anyway, I would like to give everybody a little update on some of the lost dogs that I've been talking about every here and there. We've got Andy and Ozzy still up on the background. They've not been caught. It's been kind of quiet on the Ozzy front. I checked out the Facebook page tonight just before I left, and it doesn't seem like there have been a lot of sightings, but you know, he's still out there. So if you are in the Fairfield area and you want to connect and help do what you can to try to find him, drive around, hang signs, little moral support, the Facebook page is Bring Ozzy Home. Andy in Westport, still leading a major wild goose chase. They had the canine tracker in again. Her name is Karen, and she's actually a canine PI. She comes from Nebraska with her tracking dogs, and they found some new areas where they really hadn't thought Andy'd been before. So it gives them some new insight into where to look for him. Unfortunately, one of Karen's dogs, who has done so much to help bring a lot of dogs closure and get them home and help in the search, got sick. And, you know, far from home, and it seems like he's got some kind of a seizure-based problem where it's pretty severe, and they're just day to day, and everybody on the Andy page has pitched in and done research on the internet and shared information. And I believe one of the vets that they've been in contact with has been a referral from Oprah's vet, which, you know, it's pretty amazing how, like I say, it takes a village. People have pitched in and done their thing and reached out and tried to help. So Andy in Westport still can use your help, hanging signs. You know, they have quite a ground team. It's very impressive, the efforts that they've put together to try to find that little guy. And hopefully they're that much closer to actually getting their hands on his little corgi behind because he's been out there for a long time. There's also a Polish lowland sheepdog named Lacey, who's been missing since March 11th in the Huntington area. She hasn't really been seen since March 31st, which I know it's been a while, and there are still people out there trying to do what they can to help find Lacey, and that's exactly the name of her Facebook page if you want to check that out, Find Lacey. Gail, her mom, is distraught. I know that I've had a few conversations with her, and it's got to be hard. It's really got to be hard. Lacey's birthday was, you know, just like last week, I think it was, and so she wasn't home for her birthday, and that's kind of sad. So if there's anything you can do, there's only like 60 people who like the page. I bet you we can do a lot better than that if everybody goes and likes the page and gets interested. It would be a beautiful thing. Another dog closer to home, not without drama. A lot of you know about the search for Timmy. Timmy was adopted the end of February, 3 hours later, first walk with his new home. The owner fell, dropped the leash, the dog's been gone. The dog's been sighted. There's been, like I said, a lot of drama with that one, unfortunately. That person who adopted him has basically walked away from the search after a couple of months. She has no interest. She took down the Facebook page. She's given up. Fortunately for poor Timmy, who's been out there in Waterbury, injured since pretty much right after he disappeared, there are people who are still searching for him. There has been a reorganization. People who were basically chased away by his owner through some of the drama. I'm just going to keep calling it drama because I don't know what else to call it. I was actually, unfortunately, one of the many people who tried to help and were attacked basically by this person who we were trying to help. But there are people who are reforming and regrouping and getting together. There's a new Facebook page. It's called Bring Timmy Home. And there is going to be a search tomorrow in Waterbury starting at 9 a.m. in Waterville Park, which is right off of Thomaston Avenue there. If you can do anything to help try to find this poor dog. I mean, his story is really, it's sad. He was brought up from down south. He was kept in a pen. He really had not very much human contact. He was taken up by this rescue, adopted out, supposedly rehabbed and socialized, but probably not to the point where it really does him any good at this point. 3 hours in somebody's house, he disappears. He's got no connection to the person. You know, he's a dog on his own, and he was limping, and, you know, we can only surmise that he got hit by a car because, you know, he's been out running around, but he's still with his leash attached. He was spotted probably, I want to say 3 weeks ago off of Thomaston Avenue by the DMV. So he's still out there, purportedly still dragging his leash. And if you can help out, 9 o'clock tomorrow, Waterville Park, you can go if you've got, you know, page protectors, tape to tape the posters up, staplers, whatever have you, you know, that you can use. They're going to be teaming up, going into the woods. I think the quarry is someplace that they're trying to search. The park itself. I know when I was out there, we were actually going door to door. I don't know what their efforts are going to entail, but I know that they're really trying to make a bad situation turn it right. You know, with the person who, like I said, I don't know how you just give up on a dog. I don't understand. You've got the Andys and the Ozzies of the world. These people just, you know, it's been months, and they're pouring their hearts and souls and Lacey, everything into trying to find a dog, and this one walked away. And you know, let's make it happen. Let's make it right. Let's find Timmy. because he's been through enough, and you know, we'd like to see him at least restored to the world, and brought back, and given a chance to have a home where he will be cared for and he will be loved, and he can live the rest of his life safely and being cared for. Now, one of the things that I'd like to address, because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on Facebook this week, is free dogs. You have a lot of people who put ads in the paper to give away their dogs for free. You have Craigslist, you have a lot of other venues where, you know, free to good home, you know. I don't know. I've gotten in arguments about this, the whole Craigslist, and there's a lot of people on my side, and there's a lot of people who don't say anything wrong with it. But when you're not careful about where and how you place a dog, you don't know what's going to happen to that dog. There are people who just don't imagine the things that are out there and the dangers that are out there. People will go for these dogs that they can get for nothing, and they will sell them. They will use them as bait dogs. They will sell them to laboratories. I don't know the horrors, how to explain the horrors of what can happen to these animals. I just saw something on Facebook just before I left the house. Somebody's, you know, free on the internet type of dog was used as a bait dog, and there was his little broken body with his mouth duct taped closed so he couldn't fight back, and he was used as a bait dog. You know, they pull their teeth, and I can guarantee you that they don't pull their teeth under anesthesia. They file their teeth down so they can't bite, you know, and do any damage to, you know, the big bad fighting dogs. It's an ugly, ugly world out there. If you're going to give a dog away to perfect strangers, you should at least do some research. You know, if the people who are in rescue have a hard time justifying who to give a dog to. You know, people complain about the application process all the time. Oh, you know, they want too much information. Why do they want to check my vet reference? Because it matters, people. It really matters what happens to these animals. By checking a vet reference, you find out a whole lot of history about a pet owner. You know, was their dog hit by a car? Was their dog you know, cared for? Did their dog have vaccinations? Were they responsible pet owners? These are the people you want to place your dogs with, not the first person who walks through the door and pretends to be everything you want to hear. You know, there's got to be red flags. I spoke to somebody prior to the wonderful person who took Odie home, and there were red flags galore. I posted on my page, kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know, should I be glad that the connection got lost on the phone call? And I mean, I know the answer to that. The woman told me that her dog got loose from her a couple times. The last time it got loose, the dog got hit and killed by a car. She said that she only took it out twice a day. These are things that, I don't know, how can you be comfortable with putting a dog in the hands of people who send up all these red flags? I didn't ask these questions. If you let people talk, they'll usually hang themselves with the information they give you. You know, like I say, if it's hard enough for the people who do this, I don't want to say for a living, but they do this frequently and they do this for rescues, to weed out some of these people and find the good homes. How does the average person who wants to not have their pet anymore, because I hate the term get rid of, you get rid of your garbage, you don't get rid of a pet. You know, they put in these ads, oh, loving member of the family and heartbroken and it's good with animals and good with kids and good with this and good with that. If this dog truly is all that, why would you put it at the risk of any idiot, excuse me for being so strong, who walks through your door? You know, the risks are there. You can't just think that someone who walks in and tells you everything you want to hear is going to be that person that is going to give your dog or your cat or your whatever the best home. Take stock in the situation. Let that person know that you're really not just trying to shuffle off your beloved family member. I mean, how do you treat a member of your family? You just put it in writing somewhere, member of the family, and we're heartbroken, all that. How do you treat someone that you love, supposedly, so haphazardly and carelessly as to just place them in the hands of a perfect stranger? I don't get that, you know? Have an application. Try to take the time. Don't, if you're moving and, you know, suddenly you can't have your animal, or, you know, life changes. I understand sometimes decisions have to be made and things just can't be avoided. But don't decide like 3 days before you need to make your life change that now is the time to do it. Do it ahead of time. Take the time to do the research. Don't just think that, you know, it's going to be easy. There are dogs who sit in shelters for months, if not years, without finding a home. Your dog or your cat, just because it's yours, doesn't mean it's going to be like somebody else's perfect pet and find a home like instantly. Take the time, plan ahead, do the right thing. Contact a rescue. A lot of the rescues are full, a lot of the shelters are full, and they can't take in every animal that comes along. Some of the pounds won't even take in owner surrenders. But see if they'll work with you. See if you can get a copy of their adoption application. See if they can courtesy post your pet. You know, they have people looking for animals all the time. It's not like, you know, it's a store and there's inventory and, you know, the shelters are going to have the perfect dog that someone walks through their doors looking for. Maybe they can refer your dog to these people or your cat to these people if they don't have just the right match. Work through it. Don't be hasty. Don't display all of the signs of that you don't care. Care. It's too crucial because there's too many dangers out there. Do you know what they do to these dogs in labs? You know, the experiments that they put on them? How do you think they break their bones over and over to try different ways, the hardware to make them heal? They slice them open, they try new sutures, they try new staples. You really think that's a life for your beloved family pet, that you're just going to let this happen to them? Please use common sense, please. This week there was a kid that it went pretty wide and far and wide on Facebook, who somewhere in Connecticut is taking in these free dogs and he's torturing them and killing them. And there's a lot of hoopla going on about it, but how would you like that if that were your dog or your cat that fell into the hands of, you know, some sicko who just has like no good intentions? And I know I'm kind of like rambling a little bit, but it's important. It's really, really important. And, you know, the same fate can fall upon your dog if you leave it unattended in your car, unattended in your yard. Unfortunately, there was actually somebody I know on Facebook this week, and I don't know exactly what happened, but their dog was stolen from their home, and it was bathed, the collars and tags were taken off, the dog was sold, got loose from the people that these people sold it to, picked up by somebody, turned into animal control, and by some stroke of God got returned to them. So, you know, yeah, things can happen and then turn around and be better, but you can't protect your animals enough, in my heart and in my mind and in my soul, from the people out there who you probably don't even know exist, but they're there. They're going to break into your car if you leave them in the car. You know, you run into the store. They're going to break into your car and steal your dog and use it for bait, use it for breeding, use it for, you know, sell it to a lab. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, so you've got to be careful. Some of these people who like this kid on Facebook. There's do not adopts that get issued. And I just want to briefly say that if you know of this person who shouldn't adopt an animal, contact the shelters. Do it discreetly rather than all over Facebook, because if you think this person that you're putting out the warning on isn't going to know that you're putting out the warning on them and just change their way of doing things, you know, what's to stop me if I'm that evil person from seeing, oh, they're on to me, okay, let me get my friend and have my friend go get this dog, or have my friend do my dirty work so I can still do what I want to do. Keep it under the radar when you're going to put out a warning, because as one of my favorite TV shows says, you want to get out ahead of the bad guys. You know, you just want to be waiting for them so you could tell them no, be waiting for them so you can have them arrested. Do whatever it is you've got to do, but do it discreetly and do it in a fashion that's going to be effective. Like I've said before, you're not going to bring down, the cops aren't going to bring down a drug dealer by announcing in the neighborhood that they're coming to get them tonight, you know? You got to do everything undercover. It works just the same, more effectively. You just get the word out under the radar. And while I'm on a roll about protecting your dog, the warmer weather is coming. Don't leave your dog in the car. Just don't do it. You know, it gets too hot too fast, and your dog is going to get heat stroke, and I've seen dogs stricken by it, and it's just awful. They suffer, okay? There is no just for a few minutes. There is no parking in the shade and leaving the windows rolled down. It's just leave your dog home. Don't take him on errands. Don't even think of it. And if you're going to take your dog out to, you know, an event, think of your dog. In the hot summer sun, that pavement gets hot. Take breaks in the shade. You know, their paws aren't like wearing shoes. Their paws are skin, and it can burn. Just like it burns your feet on the hot pavement. Take a break every now and then. Bring water, bring a bowl. Take care of your dog's needs when you're out there, because it's important. You know, you wouldn't do it to your kids. Don't do it to your dogs. Yes, your dog likes to be a part of your family and go to these things with you. It's fine. Just think about it. Take breaks. If it's really hot, go sit in the shade. If it's, you know, bring water, and make sure that you're taking care of your pet. If it's panting too much, it could be just time to go home. You know, that's all I want to say with that. Okay, now, Ruby is a dog that is the little brown one behind me with the blue collar. She was a save. Long story. She was bred and baited. She was a hot mess in that picture. She's still available for adoption. She traveled a hard road from that mess that she was in the front seat of my car in that picture. She had a couple of bad breaks after that, but now she's with Protectors of Animals, and she's still available for adoption. I do have her up on the Posse Presents page. She is looking fabulous. She was on a TV show up for adoption just the other day with a pink feather boa, and just so sweet and so calm. I can't believe that since last summer till now, she still hasn't found a home. Yeah, she probably wants to be with like older children, probably the only dog, but you know, she's such a sweetheart. I can't tell you how wonderful she would be in your home if you're looking for an only dog. Probably no cats either, but you know, that's not my call. Contact Protectors of Animals. They have a Facebook page, and I'm sure that they would be more than happy to arrange a meeting. And even if you just look at the picture, she's come a long way from that dog in that picture right there. Also, the Derby dog pound. I don't know if you've caught on to anything that's gone there. The ACO walked off the job and left all the dogs there, so now Woodbridge has taken over, and they have all the dogs available for adoption. They're kind of jammed up for having the extras there, so if you're looking to adopt Check out Woodbridge. That would be a wonderful place to go. Hartford has, the City of Hartford Animal Shelter has 2 urgents for Monday. They're beautiful animals. Check out their Facebook page. One of them is just stunning. You'll have to go look to see. New Britain's had some urgents lately too. Check out the New Britain Pound. They've had some saves, but they've been a little backed up, so it's very nerve-wracking. Waterbury's still not out of the woods. They always operate so close to capacity that, you know, they need all the help they can get. A couple of events coming up. Running for Rescues is having one tomorrow where I'll be there. Also, there's an event for ARF this week, Animal Rescue Foundation in Terryville. I've had these events on my page. I will be at the ARF event as well. Come on over and say hi. Looks like we're running out of time. I've talked all the way through this. You know, I'm here for the animals, folks. I'm not here for anything else. I don't know how else to express how wonderful animals make life. You know, you can get mad at the people who are your friends on Facebook who post all the sad pictures that break your heart. Well, you know what? We live that reality every day. And instead of complaining about it, you know, I've seen it a lot on Facebook. Instead of, you know, complaining about it or just liking, how about clicking share? You know, you can always block the people from your news feed, but in all reality, you can do a whole lot more good by just jumping in there and helping and sharing as well, because really, these animals depend on us more than you'll ever know. It's so many die in shelters every day. If you've got the space, I always say this, to foster, please do. If you can adopt, go to a pound. You know, don't turn your back on the animals that need you the most, because they do need you. And we're here to help them. Don't hate us because we share. Don't hate us because we care. Help us. It's the best way to go. Anyway, Pound Posse Presents, my page on Facebook. Check it out. I'll post some of these adoptable dogs. I will post the events again. Check Ruby out because she's beautiful and you won't believe how far she's come. I think any second now my credits are going to run. My credits? Anywhere? I'm waiting. I'm being told to wrap it up. It's like, stop talking. You're talking too much. Anyway, I'm here. There's my credits. Peace, love, and dogs. That's what I was waiting for. And good night, everybody.